Hey guys, it's Nick from CrossFit Southpaw. I'm back with you today to talk about the V-up and ways that we can build that movement and develop the capacity to do really good, really strong V-ups. The V-up is a great way to work both our lower, mid, and upper abs. So it really hits all of our core muscles in the front of our body here. A lot of people struggle with starting these or doing them right, okay? So I'll show you what the V-up looks like and some common faults that we see. So this is the V-up. Oftentimes we'll see variations like this where people aren't really engaging their core. It becomes more of a hip flexor movement and the arms are kind of flopping around. And that's not necessarily their fault. It's generally due to just misinformation or not enough knowledge, which is why we want to do this and talk about some ways that we can develop the V-up and what's actually going on in the movement. The V-up has a foundation of the hollow body position, which is a foundational gymnastics position. And it's characterized when we're on the ground by pressing our low back into the ground. If you watch some of our previous videos, we talk about the rotation of the pelvis up, which is going to press that low back down and engage our core muscles. So the difference between laying flat like this and hollow body is this pressing down, the engagement of the abs here. So the low back is off the ground, pressing the low back into the ground. A really easy way you can start out finding that is by pushing your legs straight up in the air. I can have my arms there too. I'm just gonna slowly lower, 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 lower until I feel that back pop off the ground. When I feel that, I'm gonna correct, I'm gonna press back in and develop a tight hollow body position. The better you get at this, the lower you're gonna be able to get towards the ground, maintaining the integrity of that position. Now from there, we're working on bringing the arms and the legs up simultaneously, but it's not hinging at those joints, it's that full expression of the abdominal muscles contracting. So we want to think about the low back staying in place while our body morphs around it. And there's a number of ways that we can work on developing the strength to get there. The first and most basic is just holding or getting better at that hollow body position. So we have our position here, legs up, toes up, and we're gonna gradually come down, keeping my low back pressed into the ground. Tight, 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 lose it, back up. We can also do variations where I do one leg at a time. I'm working on keeping this leg up so that this leg can get down with my hips still tucked underneath, my abs still engaged here. Once we've developed the capacity to hold a good hollow position for 20 to 30 seconds, we can move on to the next step, which is going to be a movement commonly referred to as rows, which is going to be tucking the knees and lifting my upper body up to meet the knees, okay? So I can go from here as I come up, down and back. Notice every time I'm snapping back into the hollow position, as I come up with my knees, arms are coming up at the same time, low back is pressed into the ground. Now from there, something that I found useful when working with athletes is that there's kind of two pieces here. There's the upper body and the lower body. And there's ways that we can work each of those by itself. We can start out with the hollow position and we can start working on bringing that upper body up, similar to the common sit-up, but with control of our legs. The other one is we can alternate between leg lifts, keeping the back pressed into the ground, or knee tucks, working each of these pieces independently. From there, there's a couple different options. One is we can use an intermediary movement before going straight to V-ups. We traditionally teach keeping the feet together and the legs pressed together because it's a singular expression of energy in that movement. However, if we separate them into more of a saddle position, you're gonna see that it makes the movement a little bit easier. Consequently, it'll also help you develop a stronger squat because you're developing an expression of keeping our core tight during this external rotation of the legs, which isn't all that important. All that you need to know is that it has a good transfer to the squat. This is what that looks like. So we've gone from our rows into this, we call it like a saddle V-up. So we're here and we're out. By moving my legs out, I'm keeping my legs lower to the ground. And again, it's kind of just an intermediary that we can use in between the two movements. From there, we're gonna try to develop our full V-up. We're in our hollow position and we're gonna go up and try to touch. Notice that my hips and low back are staying pretty much in the same place that entire time. The rotation is happening around it. And at this point, we've developed a really strong V-up that's working not only our core muscles throughout my entire abdominal region here, it's also getting elements from the rest of my body involved, quads, toes. The more advanced we get, the lower we're getting back towards the ground without touching it. We have a very now advanced hollow position, and we can start adding weight. You can add a med ball, a dumbbell into your hands to increase the challenge of that movement. Guys, I hope this video helps you work on those V-ups, work on developing that capacity and understanding where they come from and how you can get there.
At Southpaw, we guide working professionals through cutting-edge workouts that transform you into a strong, successful, and confident individual. All it takes is a willingness to reject mediocrity and a desire to strive towards excellence.